the night after the demolition?
Yeah, I got in Saturday by like 7 o'clock.
How is life going?
How is what?
Life. How is it going?
Well, we very busy. Life is moving on very well. We, as the Chief of Staff to the former president, been very engaged, both with his matters and also with matters of the party. So we are performing our roles in the opposition very well. And, we are disappointed with the behavior of the government, but yet, we understand that in politics, when you have a government that is authoritarian, that doesn't respect the rule of law, you have all these things happening, and we are built
Authoritarian?
to deal with
That sounds strong. What are the acts of authoritarianism that you can point to in this administration?
I did not invent the word. They don't respect the judicial system. When the courts rule, they overrule the courts. That's a key hallmark of an authoritarian regime. They use brute force of the security apparatus. They violate the rights of the citizens.
What are the examples you can cite?
The examples are all there for everyone to see. And there are many cases. Your previous guest, mistakenly said that the president doesn't have to listen to the Supreme Court when it comes to matters in the other branches of government, which is completely erroneous. There was a very clear Supreme Court ruling about the case of the former Speaker, Funati Kofa. The government ignored the ruling. In fact, the president himself issued a statement saying that he would not honor the ruling of the Supreme Court, and he did not. That's a mark of an authoritarian regime. If don't take it from me as a member of the opposition, read the latest U.S. Human Rights Report. It cataloged all of the violations. The media violations were cataloged by the both reporters of our border and the ICJ. So it is not just the opposition are saying this. All the international reports regarding governance, have shown that the government continues to violate the rights of citizens, and it is because of all of those violations that I say that this is an authoritarian regime that has no respect for rule of law, no respect for the rights of citizens, and they use brute force from the security to have their objectives achieved.
Let's come to your party. We'll come back to matters of the government. Your party was evicted and your properties demolished on the same day. 20 years or a little more you spent down there. What went wrong? Take us back to the genesis of this whole thing. How did we get at where we were?
Well, I just told somebody today that had a CDC before government, and when the CDC became the government, had the CDC decided not to follow the rule of law, what happened on Saturday would not have happened. Why do I say so? We have always engaged in a civil way with the multiple owners, and then finally when the court decided that there was one owner, even with that owner as legal occupants of the property. When we were in power, we did not use brute force. We did not coerce the judiciary to say, give us this place. We negotiated with all of the parties. We paid money to all of the parties in the case.
But wasn't that a mistake on your part? That you pay money to both parties when you should be paying it to a particular person?
At different intervals.
Okay.
When we moved into the place, we interacted with Mr. Archie Bernard, who was one of the... In fact, both parties are Bernards. The Matos Tobafi Bernard faction and the rest of the Tommy Bernard family. So we were caught in the middle, but all along, when we moved into the place as legal tenants, we had interaction with Mr. Archie Bernard, and until there was a lawsuit in the Supreme Court, which we should not have even been a party to because we were just legal tenants. And Mr. Ibrahim Dempster presented himself to us, I think it was in 2019, and requested payments, which were made. And because we felt that, look, whatever the court says, we have to abide by it, and we are tenants, whomever is the landlord should not be our business. So we continue to interact with both parties in this matter, up to and including at the time when the CDC was not in power anymore. The last payment made to Mr. Dempster was over $350,000, which he gave us a receipt for.
When?
I said, even up to the point that I can find a copy of the receipt very quickly. Even up to and including the time that we had left power, he still requested payment, and we did pay. And some of the monies we paid not to him, to the court. Now, some people keep asking, why is it that the CDC wants to be lawless? How can somebody who goes to court to assert their rights be called lawless? A lawless person will take to the bushes, take to the mountains. A lawless person or a lawless group will not go to court. And even as I speak to you today, do you know that this case is still before the courts? Tomorrow? How? Yeah, we have, because we have not exhausted all of the legal remedies available to us. And this is why it was very interesting that the government decided to not just enforce a precept from the court, but to go and demolish properties, damage people's private properties in the course of the action that it took. And subsequent to this holiday, the CDC is going to be filing another case before the courts of Liberia to punish those who caused all of the destruction of properties belonging to individuals who were legal tenants, were recognized by the courts as being legal tenants. And the court say, the case was won, the landlord wants his place, we have a document to say that you should leave. To say that you should leave means if you are renting a one-room apartment and your landlord asks you to leave, and in the final end, the court says you should leave, even if it's the lower court, and you file an appeal because of other issues which are cataloged, it doesn't mean that the court officer will go with a battalion of police and other members of the security apparatus to destroy your property. Maybe in your one room, you have TV, you have your bed. The normal practice and the legal practice is to come and have you served. If you resist that service and you don't follow the order of the court sheriff or the officers of the court, then the court will subsequently come up with a request maybe to the Ministry of Justice for additional support to enforce that. Even then, they don't just go to you and break everything that you own because you are no more a tenant. And that is the case that we are going to file. And people say, why you guys could just move? Yes, but also we have rights. This issue is an issue of respect for the rule of law.
So let me read something from Councillor Augustine Chie, one of your senators from Sano County, a CDC senator.
Yes.
He says, I have said it privately before, and I am saying it publicly now, that our party must peacefully vacate the Bernard Estate. Under our statutory and constitutional law, the filing of a new suit for specific performance by a party who has lost a prior evasion case does not automatically stay evasion. In the evasion case, that is action for ejectment, the court ruled in favor of the Mato Stubberfield Bernard Estate landlord and ordered evasion. That judgment is final and binding unless stayed by the Supreme Court through appeal or motion for stay of execution. The filing of a new suit, that is an action for specific performance, does not stay an evasion already ordered by the court. Even if the party CDC files a motion for a stay of execution for the evasion and posts an indemnity bond as required by the civil procedure law, but without a court-granted stay order, the sheriff can carry out the evasion. It is also legal for the court to request the help of the police in enforcing an evasion to prevent resistance to lawful eviction. That's the law. We are a country of law.
That's true.
This is your own senator.
That's true. And this is the beauty of the CDC. We have some people, even within the CDC, who would dissent. The leadership of the CDC, headed by former President Weah is not a leadership of tyrants, dictators, and authoritarians. So yes, Senator Chair has a view, but his views were based on completely insufficient information. And I'm sure by tomorrow, whatever ruling or whatever action the Supreme Court takes in lieu of the filings that we have made, he might have an amendment to that position of his. But even looking at the position that he has presented per se, that unless there is a stay, he said unless there is a stay, and if you file a new case, but there are several, we did not file one position to the courts, not just single one. That we have a writ of certiorari before the Supreme Court. We have a writ, a bill of information also before the Supreme Court, and then we have the appeal that we have made from the very civil law court that had issued the eviction notice, and the judge on Friday, the Friday before the eviction, approved the bond. So Councilor Chair is referring to one filing when there were three.
Yeah, but
listen.
But
I understand.
The Supreme Court has not issued any stay.
Yes, but
on that action.
But there is a legal debate. People. Somebody say, "Oh, you're not a lawyer. Don't talk about legal business." And I retorted to him, my very good friend. I said, "But you're not a journalist. Why do you go on radio? You're not a carpenter. So if something breaking your house, you can knock it. I'm not a lawyer, but I can read, and I've been very engaged with the case. We had executive committee meetings, and perhaps if Senator Chair had attended as an executive member, had attended some of these meetings, he would have known prior to writing what he wrote based on insufficient information. He would have gotten the full picture that this very judge on Friday, and I can serve you a copy, confirmed our appeal under our Constitution. That confirmation constitutes a stay. If he says no, or if the other side says no, what is the recourse? They go ahead and cause damage. So what if tomorrow the Supreme Court say, okay, we hold your appeal? They will put everything back. And that is the issue. And this is why I'm saying that the action by the government, the hasty action, because they were aware. We wrote the Minister of Justice on Friday to inform him that we have pending actions before the court. Can you wait before you enforce? He said, well, we'll call you back. I myself spoke to the director of police. I said, we have pending actions before the court. If you don't evict on Saturday, can you wait until Wednesday? Let's see what the Supreme Court will say on Tuesday. Well, I'm doing my job. I have a document from the court. I have to go ahead. So what was the rush about? So what if the court rules tomorrow? Because the case is not over. And that is our point. That we have not exhausted our legal options. And yet, you are rushing to cause all of the damages that you caused.
What are the legal options? Because it is my understanding that the owner, the legitimate owner of the property doesn't need you there.
Oh, so then plenty of issues that, it's just a beginning of the issues that we raised. You didn't need us there. But you sent us a letter that's saying we should pay $4.5 million in lieu of right of first refusal. I didn't write the letter for him. His lawyer sent us the letter.
When was that letter sent to you people?
A few months ago. And that is what started this whole thing.
Well,
I can give you a copy of the letter.
Yes.
And you can read it or a portion of it.
Yeah, sure.
I'll ask somebody to send it to my WhatsApp right now because it's not handy. Now, if you send us many issues, the period, I told you the first payment we made to him was in 2019.
Okay.
And he was aware of every development we carry out on the property. So some of what we will be claiming,
did he know that you were building those houses there?
He was aware because when he received money from us, including the $350,000, he did not say, why did you build this on the property? So we want to assert our legal rights. We don't have to be there. But the CDC will not be intimidated or cheated by anybody. And the only place we have to assert our rights and to ensure that our rights are protected is not anywhere, it's nowhere else but in the courts. And this is where we went. And there are still cases pending.
Now, so if he wrote to you that he wanted you to buy the place for 4.5 million,
Yeah.
was there any negotiation that ensued
We
afterward?
wrote, yes.
Okay, what?
The first thing we pointed out to him in his very, and that offer constituted his recognition of our rights of first refusal. You know, in our view, because he wrote us a letter saying you have a right of first refusal, so can't pay $4.5 million. But then in the same letter, he said, I have signed an agreement with somebody else. Meaning he agreed with another party that they should pay $2 million. What is that? So
It was in that letter?
The same letter, which I can share with you.
Yeah,
if you have a break.
Yeah.
Because I can go to my phone and share the letter with you. So he has been behaving mischievously. Being a landlord does not make you a god or somebody. Tenants have rights. And that is our point we are making. Tenants do have rights. And people you have contract with, they do have rights. You cannot write me and say you have right of first refusal, but pay 4.5 million, even though I have an agreement with another person for 2.5. Why? What did you want us to do? We went back to the court. And the civil law court did not even do a trial. He summarily dismissed our case. They did not conduct any trial. So what did we do? We filed an appeal. Before the appeal can be heard, they go break the place. It's the kind of jungle justice we want in the country. And then the president lands from Japan. You know, whether he got briefing while he was there or not. He said, oh, it was legal. Why if the Supreme Court tomorrow accepts our appeal and say the CDC was right? Go back and look into the case. Would they plant the tree back? Would they build the buildings back? Would they put all the properties they broke, would they put them back? And this is what we are saying. We will be building a new headquarters within 1 year.
Within 1 year?
Yes.
This is what you are putting on the record. Where?
In Congo Town. And somebody say, oh, show the place. There is a citizen of Liberia who supports the CDC. He offered her land and made the mistake of saying it publicly in a gathering. By the next day, which was Saturday, the same Saturday that the destruction happened, the LRA magically told him that he owed money on the property that was unencumbered, no development on the property. They gave him a huge bill. So we are a political party. When President Weah returns to Liberia, we do groundbreaking ceremony at our spot. We do an unveiling ceremony, and within 1 year, tonight the committee will be announced. The headquarters committee will be announced, and we're not in panic mode. Yes, it was a nice place we wanted to be because of the historical relevance, the historical attachment to us, but we follow the law. So they broke the place down while we stay in court. So Senator Chair, he didn't come to meeting, so he missed a part of it. He's right to say that if it is an appeal on summary proceedings, it doesn't constitute a stay, which is even debatable among legal scholars. But it's not just that appeal that we have. And does the law, our own senator is referring to, does the law give a timeline? I'm a member of Alpha O Thomas. Almost 3 years, we had an eviction notice. The police never went there to evict anybody. What was the rush about CDC? Why they couldn't wait for 2 or 3 days? I spoke to the police director. I said, can you wait until Wednesday? He said, no. It has to be done that night. They amassed, forces of people, went to the place, behaved like rebels, destroyed property, including property belonging to us. An eviction doesn't say you should destroy the property of the tenant. That is what they did.
Well, people say it is the owner who has it. If the owner doesn't need it, then the owner can break it down.
Oh, if I'm renting a room, forget about the CDC headquarters, and I'm being evicted, so they mean the man can't bring my TV, bring my paper, everything. But what happened?
In that case, no. In that case,
but that was the case.
In that case, it is the person's house, so they don't need to break their own house. In this case, it is you that build your buildings there. You have all of those things there.
Forget about the other building. The building that we rented not just a building, we rented an entire property of over 4 acres. We pay him money. He gave a receipt. He gave us other documents. So we're not just renting a single house. We rented a property.
And you also built properties there?
With his full knowledge. Because if it wasn't with his knowledge, when we're paying him the 350,000, which was the latest amount that the CDC paid.
When was that 350,000 paid?
2024.
Oh, after he left power.
Because he wanted payment continuously. He thought we were not going to pay him, and we gave him the money. He gave a receipt.
Oh wow!
And all these documents are available, and we adduce and produce all of these documents to the court. So don't say the CDC has no case. We are lawless. I've never seen a lawless group that goes to court. Lawless people go in the bush, they take guns, they start shooting, they start killing people. We are not lawless. This is why we went to the court, and we are still before the court. Let the Supreme Court, whether it's tomorrow, it's at their own discretion, or whenever, review our case and throw it out.
Okay.
And make a final determination. But before the final determination,
I don't know if this is
things.
what was sent me by March 29, 2024. Cash. Let me send it to my boy to put it up so that people can see. Something is coming, AB, quickly. Please put that up if this is it, if this is the payment receipt. Okay. He will put that up on the screen shortly. But let me ask you this question. There are those who say you the officials, you the party made, the party empowered. You didn't do well for the party. A whole lot of you built mansions, bought homes, and blah blah blah. You left the party to dry. You allow Archibald Bernard to allegedly mislead you, and you cared only for yourself. You didn't care for the party so much, so people should blame you. You all caused this for yourself.
I want to know some of the people who said those things.
Critics, you are critics. Whether it is in the UP,
you gotta name some of them because the reason why I want you to
society.
name some of them because I've seen some of that criticism.
Yeah, the ones that
And
saw
99.9% of what you just stated here came from United Party people. They themselves, do they have a headquarters? They don't. Unlike the CDC, they were owing rent. They couldn't pay the rent, so they were kicked out because of non-payment of rent. Our situation is totally different. As a responsible party, we paid our rent, and yet, because of a conflict between two parts of a single family, the Supreme Court issued a ruling. But in the midst of that, we are between two trees. We say, no, but we have rights. We didn't take your property. We have never disputed whether we own that place or not. It's not the dispute. Our issue is that we are legal tenants. You took our money on many occasions, both sides, and then you can't just, throw us out like that.
Okay.
We have an understanding, an agreement on paper that yourself wrote, and say you have a right of first refusal.
Let me just read this receipt, March 29, 2024. Cash payment received from the Congress of Democratic Change. CDC, the cash amount of United States $360,000 via or through deposit in the account of the undersigned meeting with International Bank Liberia Limited, representing the negotiator renter, blah, 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 this January 2018 to December 31, 2023, for the possession, use, and occupancy of the premises subject of and after the rendition of final judgment by the Supreme Court of Liberia in the below caption case, blah, 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 blah. So you pay, but it says after the rendition of a final judgment by the Supreme Court of Liberia. So the final judgment came and it went against you.
So when was the final judgment made?
You tell us.
It's so it's a legal term. Mm-hmm. We did not dispute that we were owing because the previous judgment was that Archie owned the place. Archie won at the lower court. Archie Bernard. The Dempster took an appeal to the Supreme Court. Okay. So when the Supreme Court ruled after a lower court, then they describe it as final judgment. Okay. But even with that, it does not stop us as legal tenants. So
that means you all pay money to Archie first?
Yeah, we pay money previously. We pay money to Archie representatives.
And then after
when we were going into the place. Mm-hmm. Then when the court ruled, Dempster came to us and we made payments. That's the first payment we made to him. That's the second. That's another payment. I don't want to say second. Because I think Mobile Molo has some of the details. I have some of the documentation. Where did
everything break down? Because if you paid money in 2024 March, as claimed,
and then the idea was that they would send us a letter subsequently, and that letter
for the purchase of the property
because we said we won't buy it.
Okay.
He said I was saying in keeping with your right of first refusal. I need to, when you have a break, I'll get the letter out because I can't be talking on my phone at the same time. The letter said.
But
the letter said that
if anyone else has it, let them send it to me.
Yeah, the people are listening. It's every member of the CDC Executive Committee has it. It's in my phone also. Okay. I'm saying that this letter that the lawyer wrote on behalf of Dempster, Ibrahim Dempster, said that yes, we recognize you have a right of first refusal. But then the second paragraph had a problem. He said, well, we have an agreement with one church to pay $2 million, but you must pay $4 million. The letter made no sense. $4.5 million. What kind of sense is that? If we have right of first refusal, we have to pay the fair value of the property. You can say, I will sell it to a different person, 2, but if that you, that 4. That's a criminal act.
Well, it is the person's property.
But if your property, then say $1 for it. Don't say I will sell it $2 to the man. It's discrimination and prejudice. We have laws on the books for that. So our lawyer said, no, it's not how you execute the right of first refusal. To say my property worth $5, but because of you pay $1,000. So we went back to the court. The only place we got to go.
The court threw that out. That is what
the court did not. Listen now, this is why we filed an appeal. There was no trial. The judge threw it out. So we challenged the judge in keeping with our right. And when you challenge the judge to file an appeal, the judge got to agree. And he agreed by signing a document and serving the other side. He approved the consummation of our appeal process. So we're not doing things out of our head. And this is when, apparently, because the government already wanted to use a brute force, in between Friday when the judge signed, and Tuesday, because Monday is a holiday, when the Supreme Court was going to make a determination, they felt that the whole country was going to burn if they did not go and break things up. We spoke to them. Councillor Charles Gibson spoke to the Minister of Justice, who was the acting president, and said, send copies of everything to him, send a letter, and he said, but the Supreme Court will look at it matter on Tuesday. Must you execute today? They say, oh, it doesn't constitute a stay. Councillor Gibson said, no, it does. Under our constitution. Back and forth. He said, well, the police will go ahead. I myself, I called the Inspector General of Police. I said, we have a case pending. There are so many. If you look on Mr. Coleman's decks, I am very sure you'll find at least 50 to 60 evasion notices. Why did he prioritize this single one? I say I'm a member of Alpha Old Timers. We have an evasion notice that has been pending for years. Has never been executed or enforced by the police. So why this time? And as people say, we should say it's not politically motivated. It is. It is. And we are politicians. The CDC is a political party. We respond politically. We respond politically and we use also legally.
I'm told that Puma FM in Bomi is also relaying this broadcast.
I say thanks to them. So people can understand the actual story that the CDC, and then for somebody to say it's a lawless group. I don't want to hear that. A lawless group does not go to the court.
Okay, I think someone sent me that, the letter you are talking about.
The letter was subsequent to the payment of the $360,000.
You mean the one that came August 8, 2024?
Yeah, because we pay in
I think I can post this whole letter. I can send it for my boy to post it.
Yeah, you can post it. The letter now secret.
Yeah, let me send it to him to put it on the stuff so we...
But look at the date on the letter.
Yeah,
the letter, after we paid, then he sent us the letter that tried to... The extortion letter that we rejected. Okay? The CDC would never subscribe to extortion by anybody.
No.
Whether you're a landlord or tenant or whatever, or the government, nobody will not subscribe to
today is the 25th day of August. You are saying within a year you'll be able to have your new headquarters.
Tonight, we announced the committee. Within 1 year, it might be less. Actually, the standard bearer is targeting 7 months. The only reason it might be that long because cement got to dry. But we are ready to move.
That means you already have the money and everything.
We have everything ready. No, you can never say you have enough money, because there are partisans, supporters, sympathizers in Liberia and the world over that want to participate, but we have money to deliver. a new headquarters, state of the art. That thing you see on my page, exactly. That's what we're going to
That
deliver in Congo Town.
we have saved that.
But
We have saved it, and what we're looking out for.
This is why I was telling you. I saw you say people were criticizing Mo Ali and all these people who were criticizing. Some of them even know the price of cement. So when you talk about billing, they can panic. George Weah built his first house when he was 20 years old.
Why you mean
so billing is not.
Those are people that have built their own houses. They say they know price of cement.
Who now? I call her name.
More.
When he built the house now. Okay, I don't know.
Oh,
but when,
he doesn't have house.
I said there's no record of him. So when you talk about building things, you know, it's to them it will never work because he hasn't done it before for himself. Not like people like me. I was in my 30s. I built my first house. Early 30s. I think I was 31. The president was, you know, and for me, I was too old to do that. The president was 20 when he built his first house. You know, so he wasn't building. It's not strange to him. People in the CDC, when we have $1, you know, I listen to somebody, you know, call me and say, "Oh, Alari." I say, I don't want to listen. Alari, he's still owing rent on the old road. Is that somebody that will say CDC can build a headquarters within 1 year? Or have men? We're going to deliver it. We're going to deliver it. We have the land. We have money to start. We have the plan. What's going to stop us? We haven't the as I speak to you right now, the floor plan, all the plans have been drawn. I don't want to get to you before you can put it on Facebook. The only reason we didn't our partisans are waiting and ready to go and support to start cleaning the land for in preparation of the construction. The only reason I think they should blame me. I said let's check the T's and dot the I's because the government will look for the least thing to try to stop that. You know, somebody offer or land the same Congo Town, and the next day they send out a big bill that you owe taxes and all of that.
Seriously?
Yeah, but we pay the taxes. So what we're going to do now is not just a national headquarters. We're going to be headquarters in every county, not within 1 year, because we want to prioritize the national headquarters.
You doing the national headquarters
in Congo Town
in 1 year.
Within 1 year.
But the
it might be earlier than 1 year. The county some will happen within a year because right after we start this project, President Weah is going on a nationwide tour. Former President Weah, because once I say president, some people incapable of understanding that a title applies like that. Like a former ambassador is still an ambassador. Former president is still a president. Still named as such. Doesn't mean you hold the position, but for the sake of not being confrontational, former President Weah and the standard bearer of the CDC will immediately start his county tour. And as we go through, we identify areas, work with our local structures to start that project. So the mandate is to do and deliver.
Okay,
all
let me just read that letter. We already have it on the page. August 8, 2024, Mr. Jangaku, blah, blah, blah. Dear Mr. Kowo, in keeping with our telephone conversation, this is from J. Johnny Momo and Associates, Legal Chambers. In keeping with our telephone conversation and your request that our client, the interstate estate of the late Matos Tobofi Bernard, represented by his administrator, Ebrima Vani, Denster, make and state the purchase price for his 4.3 acres of land on which the Congress of Democratic Change has its headquarters formal, we, as instructed by our client, and has informally been communicated to the Congress of Democratic Change in several telephone conversations and meetings, submit that the purchase price of the herein mentioned property is United States dollars $4,200,000, and said amount is to be paid in cash down. As has been indicated to the Congress of Democratic Change (CDC), there are 3 prospective buyers, one of which is the Congress of Democratic Change. The other 2 are church institutions, one of which is an agreement with our client for the price United States dollars $2,500,000. In the event Congress of Democratic Change, to which our client has given first right of refusal to purchase, given the fact that the Congress of Democratic Change is currently occupying said premises, but can be evicted based on the judgment of the Supreme Court ordering its eviction from the said property. We look forward to hearing from you soonest, as time is of the essence. So did they hear from you soonest?
They heard from us the same day.
And what did you say?
We rejected the attempt at extortion because the right of first refusal is not the right to extort and the right to defraud and the right to be criminal. It is the right to say my property worth this, so I want to sell it, but since you're in the property already, you have the opportunity to buy it. So, but before giving us that right, you already signed an agreement with somebody. That's a violation of the right of first refusal. To say one church, we have an agreement with a church to pay $2 million, but you pay $4 million. So where do we go in view of such blatant and glaring attempt to extort?
Now,
we went back to the court. And this case is still in the court, and then people go and break the place.
The police went there during the eviction and demolition processes. Guns were allegedly discovered.
You believe that, eh?
Drugs and other different things. It is being said that different things were happening at that place. In fact, I heard Stanton last night saying that people of the CDC were doing men and women business in the quote-unquote Muna Technical School.
At the time, the people went there.
And all those kinds of things.
Whoa. Listen, let me say something to you. And one of the reasons why any process of such has to be well documented is because of the recognition by our laws that there is a chance for people to pollute the system. You watch on TV the snippet that was shown to you, and you saw some of the police were trying to, and some of them were not even police, trying to take things and put it in a court. Are these the same people you want to trust that there were drugs there? When they went there, did they conduct a proper search? Was Mr. Jangakowo present? Because he was the one who should have been served. If he wasn't there, what was the right? Because they went there at 3 a.m. You didn't expect everybody to be there at 3 a.m. They deploy by then. They have completed deployment. They have surrounded the place. And then they go in and say there were guns. There were they even show passports, Mr. Koji's passports that he had. He was the mayor of Monrovia. Koji has a right to a diplomatic passport, so he had it along with his spouse. What was the essence of presenting the passports on Facebook in public? What was the essence? Is he not entitled to one? Did they find passport without him on a blank passport? No. They found passport with Koji's picture along with his right.
Were they old ones? Because I know a diplomatic passport can expire after
2 years.
Yeah, after 2 years. Yeah.
But why were issued to him in January? So it will expire in January, right? So my point is, it's not whether it was expired or not, but he had a right to a passport. So what was the issue? So these same people, our belief, and this is why we're also going to sue the government, including the police, for destruction of property, for violation of privacy, and the rest.
You are also going to sue the government?
A whole separate lawsuit. We have to do it because we have to show these people that we have laws in Liberia. Whether they will violate the law is up to them. But posterity has to record that these things happened. They happened in the full glare of the public. We saw what they did. We saw the police officers going trying to take, they were marking women properties, trying to steal. And then these are the same people that say they found arms and ammunition and gun in the place. And it belongs to people. Right now, they have adopted some seditionists that are in jail. Tomorrow we'll be filing a writ of habeas corpus to free them. They have been tortured as I speak. And it is unfortunate that our country has gone to this level where you go and grab people just because they were present while you are carrying out an illegal invasion, because I don't want to say eviction, because that wasn't an eviction. And you grab them, and today they are torturing them.
What can usually happen when they go to evict and they meet people there? What do they do with them? Like
nothing. You go, you present. If they were to follow the law, the rule, you present the notice to whomever is at the property, particularly the head, which in this case would mean Jangakowo. They did not do that. And even if, as you present, there is refusal, you don't carry arm, man. You have to take your returns. The sheriff has to take his returns back to the court to say, I want to enforce this eviction and I met resistance. That's the first step. Before the court can determine what force or what support it needs. Did that happen?
Well, according to the police, they were written by the court
But I'm saying, but was it the right way? Was it the right way? Because they did not go, they did not file a return, they did not present any eviction notice, they did not serve any eviction notice. they were serving at the same time, breaking down things and beating people. That's not how eviction is done. And people are laughing. They say, "Oh, it's CDC." Look. Let me say something to you. There were governments that have more arms, ammunition, and more military people than the UP. And this is why I was with former President Weah. We're in Accra. He was on the phone up to 5 a.m. Let them do what they want to do. Nobody resists. They start talking to the people because I have spoken to them. I said the former president will be back in Liberia very soon. Give us 3 days so that we talk to these people, help them to move farm trucks, to move the things. Some of the market women back in the alley. Some of the places they were executing the warrant was not included in what the Supreme Court rate said. We are going to sue because the public has to know the truth. So the UP, yes, you got power now. You think the power is absolute. You think you are omnipotent and you can use power wrongly. But we will have to note it for posterity. For posterity. What happened was a disgrace to Liberia. It wasn't about CDC. It was about how the government has confirmed the use of brute force on the citizens.
The government has vehemently denied that.
Deny what? But you saw
anything. Everything.
Yeah, but it's easy to say I vehemently deny. In the face of evidence, it's easy to say. But the truth of the matter is, can you confirm, you are journalists, and this is why sometimes I push the journalists. Can you confirm that there are still legal options available ongoing before our judicial system? And if so, can you ask the government, if the case has not been exhausted, why did you have to rush to carry out such force? Why? If it's not for political reasons.
Okay.
And but I want to say to all Liberians, and particularly to our supporters, to seditionists, that what they did has completely boomeranged on them, because they have given us a new source. They say it's the wicked landlord that can make you pay your house soon. So they push us now. We have a short period to construct our headquarters, but that does not mean that with all the support we're having from our partisans and supporters, that we're going to leave this matter. We have a series of issues to address legally. Those who have been arrested illegally, we have to file the writ of habeas corpus for them to be released. I think we have about 12 partisans that have been beaten, dragged, and taken to jail. They have rights. They are Liberians. We have to do that. And then the destruction of properties, the violation of privacy, all of those things will be cataloged, because we have to sue these people so that they can know that there should be, because there's not real rule of law in Liberia, but there should be rule of law.
His name is Eugene Nagbe, Chief of Staff to former President George Weah. Let's take some calls. But before then, what was the mood of the former president?
He's always calm. And in fact, when Councillor Gibson was about to call the Minister of Justice, he said, "You're wasting your credit."
Oh, that's what he told him?
Because he said they will not listen. They already plan to do it. They're going to do what they want to do. Calling will not change. As I insisted, as he let call. The acting chairman of our party, Janga Kowo, he called some of the ministers, called Kofi Wood, all they spoke. I'm not sure of that because I wasn't there, but he told me that. And I called the police director to say, "Look, why are you rushing? Because we have a matter still pending before the court. Must you do it tonight?" Or because it was in the night, they were already deploying. He said he had to execute his duties. His duties were so urgent that if he didn't execute it, the whole country was going to burn the next day, and Liberia was going to be erased from the map. It was a nuclear situation, so they had to do it, and they did.
Okay.
Now their lawyers will show up in court tomorrow.
Okay, so we
so for the same case for which they destroy properties. What is that?
Okay, 777-700-995, 555-995-995. Hopefully we can have him here again to talk national matters. The CDC matter took the whole time because of the sick.
National matter.
No, but the time I can get you one more hour next time when you are available.
Okay.
Yeah, I will be okay. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good afternoon, Julius.
Yes, quickly.
Jefferson DVD I call from this. It's a sad day in our country. For the country security to add a gangster to go in a political party headquarters all night to go evict. It's a sad day in our country. And I've seen the United Party people celebrating just say they have succeeded or solved any problem in Liberia. But I can say the CDC leaving some of us. I don't care if anyway, if that one room CDC occupied to be their headquarters, some of us will support that process or to be a new party headquarters. They have not done nothing
How
yet.
much are you willing to give?
No, we just want to see the people to do the groundbreaking.
Okay, once they do the groundbreaking, then that's it. Let's come on this end. Freedom FM is also relayed. Thanks to them, we are relayed in Bonn. We are relayed in Bomi, on Puma FM. So I know there may be other stations across the country. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Julius, how are you?
I'm fine. Quickly.
Musa Kone is my name. 1,000,000% sedition. For me, I just want to say thank to Mr. Nagbe for the brilliant presentation, but I want to be more like encouraging sedition and tell them that all is not lost. I think Unity Party succeeded doing only one thing, is our reallocation. How we reallocate the budget now we are using to build new party headquarters. We have used that money for different reasons, but we now have to do some adjustment to use it to build the new headquarters. But they will not be successful in demoralizing CDC and sedition. We are even more resilient than ever before. I just want to encourage sedition. A happy human being can die. What happened should serve as a strength for each and every one of us and be united to move forward.
Thanks so kindly, Musa. Thanks so kindly. Let's go international. Let's see who's on this end. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good afternoon, Julius Frank Gibson, and I call from Paris. Good afternoon, Honorable Nagbe. How are you? You know, when this thing happened, the joy from sedition, it was like that was a new day. But very, very unfortunately, those who are supposed to be happy, they are the ones getting angry at sedition. You broke the party headquarters down, you demolished everything, sedition are rejoicing, and you are angry. So I don't know what the problem is. But I would have loved you to actually focus on our new party headquarters. For the record, I gave every support to this party this support. Yes, 100 on my page, and I will be checking how the CDC will contact me to get the 100 bags of cement.
Oh, you say you gave him 100 bags of cement?
Yeah, 100 bags.
The man said you got money, you should make it 200 bags. Okay, thanks so kindly, Frank Gibson. Let's take media man, Oliver Kind, welcome. And thanks for relaying, for suspending your own show and relaying. Go ahead.
Thank you. And let me say this to our people following, especially from the media perspective. So I saw a deputy at the Liberia Broadcasting Corporation, the LBS, D-Flow was celebrating, he said, mission accomplished. A media man is saying mission accomplished after covering what is believed to be a controversial eviction. So this broadcaster is now appearing to be an auxiliary of the ruling establishment. How are we journalists portraying ourselves, especially from the media landscape? The state broadcaster should be an independent institution for all. So if a state broadcaster reporter is announcing that mission accomplished with so much excitement, it shows how political this thing has been.
Okay.
All we can say is that our people in this country should remain law-abiding, let the CDC follow the due process, and we are grateful that they did not resist. And we are hoping that in the end, the legal proceedings that are expected to happen will be done in a more fair and transparent way. Thank you, Julius.
Thanks so kindly as well for your call. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good evening, Julius.
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Philemon Margo, and I join you from the Japan Freeway. Let me say good evening to Mr. Nagbe here. Mr. Nagbe, thank you for elaborating well. But what becomes of the common citizen that lost their property, lost their goods? You are talking about building a new headquarters. That's fine. But what become of the common citizens that lost their property, lost their goods? Some of them don't even have a place to sleep right now.
Okay.
What are you guys going to do about that?
What becomes of them? Let's take a few more. We'll have to give him like 4 or 5 minutes to wrap up. Go ahead, let's hear you.
Thank you, Julius. How are you?
I'm fine. Who am I speaking with here?
You're speaking with Palasco. I call you from Accra, Ghana.
Go ahead.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity, Julius. And, you know, like I said to somebody this morning, I said it was a blessing in disguise. This is a blessing in disguise for us because I've been receiving. Hello, Julius.
Yes, go ahead. We don't have enough time. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I've been receiving a lot of different calls and different people that have been sending me messages that were never a member of the CDC, but because of what transpired, they said, you know, they will be a part of the process and they even contributing quickly to the process. Well, let me say something, Julius, before I go. Apparently, Gregory Cuomo was a child, or he was not born at that time. But they have police director in this country by the name of Dempster Brown. Mr. Nagbe there know the person very well. And they have police director in this country.
No, it was not Dempster Brown. Dempster Brown, I think Ibrahima Dempster or something.
Yeah, Dempster.
Oh, Vanny Dempster, okay,
Dempster.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Vanny Dempster. Thank you. And they were here. But today, Gregory Cuomo has portrayed himself as the stand-up bearer of the Unity Party that is going about violating and taking
the man is a police officer. He is implementing the law. That's his role that he is playing.
No, it's not just implementing the laws, because you can be speaking from both sides of your mouth, Julius.
Okay, thanks. So kind of worried that Sekou because of time. Sorry. Let me go to Belgium. There is someone on this line. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Hello, Julia.
There is a direct call. Sorry, let me take the direct one that comes in from the US on the same line. They knock you off the WhatsApp one. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yes, hello, Julius. My name is Weah Michael Gilman, and I'm calling from Detroit, Michigan. I'd like to say thanks to the Honorable Eugene Nagbe for his deliberations, and thanks to His Excellency President Weah for his steadfastness in calling on Tunisians and Liberians to remain calm in this process. I'd like to state here as Chairman and CEO for the Concerned Liberian Network. My organization have begun to raise.
Hello.
Have begun to fundraise for. Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can just go ahead quickly.
Yeah. Okay. Again, thank you very much. This is a direct call from the United States. My name is Weah Michael.
No, we got you. We got you. You can. Sorry, I know what's happening. You were listening directly. Yeah. Let's see who's right here. Let me squeeze you in for 30 seconds. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yes, hi. How are you? How you doing?
I'm fine. What's your name?
So my name is Joseph Sydney, calling for the United States. I do have a question for the.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when the whole situation started with the CDC, there was a blueprint of a new headquarters being built, ready to move in. I know he said they are going to be building. So it is by saying that there's a new headquarters or headquarters being built. One, and number two, well, I'll just leave my question right there. So were they lying about the new headquarters?
No. It was a blueprint for the new headquarters that they want to build. It is not like it was already built. Yeah, I think that let's go back to him now. We have just 2-3 minutes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, firstly, I want to answer the partisan who asked what will happen to those who properties got destroyed. You know, the acting chairman and other members of the executive committee have started doing inventory at the headquarters. You know, we know those who were there. we're trying to do an inventory because the standard bearer asked us to do that to know what exactly was damaged. By most of them are old women who were just there and trying to sell and make a living because we gave them a portion of the place to occupy. They didn't have homes to live, so they should contact Famata Wisse. She has been taking down names. I'm sure most of them know her, so that we can provide a humanitarian service to those people because they are our mothers mostly, and some of them are our homeless brothers. So we are also finding place for them to stay. And CDC is a family party. You know, we're not going to leave them by the roadside because of what happened. And I will speak to Famata to see how far she has gone. And we are taking their names down so that we can, as a first level of support, you know, in spite of the court action and all of that. And that's what we are going to do. So I wanted to respond. For me, that was very important. And then if I have the 1 minute, I just want to say that, you know, in a way, the UP have managed to distract the country from the real issues, the suffering that's going on, the dire fiscal situation in the country. You know, I was just looking at the statistics, and you can go and check. When Mr. Weah left power, our gross domestic, our gross international reserve was over 460 million. You know, now it has depreciated by this government. You know, it's not growing. Inflation has grown. We left inflation in single digits. It's gone to double digits. I think it's around 13 now. And because of the inflation, prices are very high. In addition to inflation, we have high taxation. There's a new tax, around 10% plus, that's affecting commodities. They have not changed the basic salary of workers. Where Mr. Weah left it after the harmonization is where they made so much lies that they are unable to I think they should just come back and apologize to the Liberian people and say, look, we lie, but this is the situation that
as
we are faced with.
Inflation, I can check now, but I'm not sure it is up to 13%. It might still be in single digits.
No, you can. It's Google. You can find out. I'm making a public statement. I'm not going to disgrace myself. You know, inflation has gone up from what we left it and to double digits now, and that's the reality. And you can check our national reserve. Where is it now?
Okay.
The gross and international reserve. No, these are the indicators.
Yeah.
But anytime I take 1 minute.
No, it is our time going by. But now your own time going by.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So you made we talk about party headquarters the whole day, and we forgot about the what my friend can call bread and butter issues. After inflation, cost of living, everything has gone up.
Thanks so kindly, sir. Thanks so kindly. We'll
have you again 5 minutes.
Okay. We'll talk the national issues next time. The news is coming up next. We are out.